Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marissa and today I am doing another book haul. Now, I think I've been pretty darn good about doing book hauls, especially while in quarantine and having been laid off for the past 6 months. So I think I've been doing okay. Now, these books are of course going to be from the end of August and pretty much all the way through September. I don't plan on buying any more books in September, but we'll see. We shall see. So anyway, without any further ado, let's just get into it. So, of course, the first book that I'm going to talk about today is The Wolf of Oranjaro by K.S. Villoso. Now, I did hear about this book on Justine's channel over at I Should Read That, and she absolutely raved about this book. Born under the crumbling towers of her kingdom, Queen Talon was the shining jewel and legacy of the bloody War of the Wolves. It nearly tore her nation apart, but her arranged marriage to the son of a rival clan heralds peace. So this sounded really, really good because I think she's been heralded as the bitch queen. So yeah, they call me the bitch queen, the she-wolf, because I murdered a man and exiled my king the night before they crowned me. So if you guys remember, this was actually on my list of fantasy books that I wanted to buy in the near future, and I ended up making a impromptu trip to Barnes & Noble and saw this on the shelf, and I was like, yep, I'm definitely buying that. So the next book that I want to talk about today is, of course, Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. This was already pre-ordered. I don't even remember when I pre-ordered it, but I got it in the mail the day it was released and I still haven't read it yet. But this is the second book in the Serpent and Dove series, and of course following the, I can't remember the characters' names at this point because it's been a while since I've read the first book, but the female character is a witch and the male character is a witch hunter. So they ended up having to get married, and you know, of course, eventually he finds out that she's a witch and chaos ensues. So the first book left off on quite a cliffhanger, so I'm actually excited to pick up this one. I do not have the first book anymore, so I might have to go read some spoiler reviews to refresh myself before I start this one. But this promises to be good, so I'm looking forward to it. Girl You Left Behind by Jojo Moyes, and Jojo Moyes is an extremely emotional writer. The things that she has written that I have read have all made me cry. She's like kind of like Nicholas Sparks in that like every single book she writes makes me cry, so I'm definitely thinking that this one's going to do the same thing. So France, 1916. Sophia Lefevre must keep her family safe while her adored husband Edouard fights at the front. When their town falls to the Germans in the midst of World War I, she is forced to serve them every evening at her hotel. From the moment the new commandant sets eyes on Sophie's portrait, painted by her artist husband, a dangerous obsession is born, one that will lead Sophie to make a dark and terrible decision. So yeah, this sounds very interesting, and I haven't really read a whole lot of historical fiction on World War I, so that's definitely going to be an interesting take on this book. So the next book is, of course, another Jojo Moyes book, and this is the Peacock Emporium. So, in the 60s, Athene Forster was the most glamorous girl of her generation. Nicknamed the Last Deb, she was also beautiful, spoiled, and out of control. 35 years later, Suzanne Peacock is struggling with her notorious mother's legacy. The only place Suzanne finds comfort is in the Peacock Emporium, the charming coffee bar and shop she opens that soon enchants her little town. So, this definitely sounds interesting. I'm not 100% sure what the actual premise is going to end up being, because that synopsis honestly leaves something to be desired. So yeah, I will definitely keep you posted on how this book goes. So the next book is actually a thriller, which is completely unusual for me to pick up because I generally don't read thrillers. They're kind of like one and done novels. You're never going to read them again. You don't have a chance to get attached to characters. So they're not really my type of thing. But every once in a while I am in the mood for a good thriller. And of course, you know, spooky season is coming up, so this might be the perfect read for that. And that is Runaway by Harlan Corbin. So this says, a perfect family is shattered in this propulsive thriller from the master of domestic suspense. You've lost your daughter. She's addicted to drugs and to an abusive boyfriend, and she's made it clear that she doesn't want to be found. Then by chance you see her playing guitar in Central Park, but she's not the girl you remember. This woman is living on the edge, frightened and clearly in trouble. You don't stop to think. You approach her, beg her to come home. She runs. That sounds interesting, and I'm wondering if it's going to be a first person or you're like in the character's head, you know what I mean? I don't even know how to describe that, but yeah, it sounds like, because it's like you've, you know what I mean? So it's almost like you are the character in the book, and I wonder if it's going to be written that way. I don't know that I'm such a big fan of that, just because it kind of puts me off a little bit, because if the character makes a decision that I really wouldn't make personally, then it kind of throws me off. But yeah, I guess we'll see how this book goes. So the next one is Fear the Drowning Deep, and this is by Sarah Glenn Marsh. Now, of course, I kind of picked this up because the book cover is really pretty, and it's also kind of like the same title-ish as the Mira Grant book that I just read recently, so that's kind of why I picked it up. But the synopsis says, I walked to the edge of the cliff. The drop would be steep, but I would take the fall if it brought me closer to the maddeningly perfect music. The fiddle sighed so sweetly. I forgot my name along with the rest. There was nothing keeping me here. Just a few more steps, then I'd be falling free. So that sounds kind of interesting. It kind of sounds like sirens maybe, or mermaids. So yeah, that's kind of why I picked this book up. So these next three are very chunky books, and you'll know why the moment you see them. But these ones I just recently picked up also at my impromptu trip to Barnes & Noble, and they are Brandon Sanderson books. Of course. These are the Stormlight Archive books 1, 2, and 3, The Way of Kings, Oathbringer, and Words of Radiance. Oathbringer is the third book. I don't know why they're out of order in my hand. I'm going to only hold up one because these are really heavy. So, of course, these are the Stormlight Archive books by Brandon Sanderson, and they're all like over 1,000 pages a piece. And honestly, after reading his Mistborn series, I am in love with his writing style. I'm in love with his world building. I'm in love with his character building. So I really, really want to see what he does with this, because it kind of seems like Mistborn and the Stormlight Archive are set in the same universe. And they kind of intertwine at some point, so I'm really, really interested to read these and see kind of how that is. If I'm wrong, somebody please let me know down in the comments, but that's just the way that it appears to me. So I ended up picking up these three books. Honestly, I really like the UK covers with the like white and the smoke and all that, but in order to get all three of the books in the UK covers, you essentially had to buy 6 books because they broke them up into 2 different parts. So instead of paying, I don't know, what did I pay for these, like $50 something for 3 books, I would have had to buy 6 books for like 90 something. So honestly, at this point, it wasn't really worth it to me. My Mistborn set is all in those UK covers, and they're really, really pretty, but I just couldn't justify spending an extra $30 to $40 on them right this second. So yeah, that's why I ended up picking these up, but in the future I may pick the UK covers up, who knows. So yeah, that is all I have for you guys today for my lovely book haul, and hopefully I will get through these fairly quick. I have been keeping my TBR list down. I think right now it's at like 52 with the new books that I've added, which is actually really good for me because here recently, like the past year, it's been above 60 like almost all the time. So it seems like I'm getting down to 50 is a pretty good thing for me, and I intend to keep it that way. So anyway, that is really all I have for you guys now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching my video. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and I would really love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe my videos. Have a great day.